I'm so sorry I'm late. Yo, how you going? It's Leah the Shambret, nonetheless, come box with Shan. Yeah, I'm late. Guys, I haven't really been that well over the last couple of days, honestly. So had to cancel like other shows of mine and get the rest. But I'm here. Lisa! My girl. My girl already. My girl. All right, there's one on the chat. It's probably Lisa. We'll come through and everybody will start to trickle through after. Big up the playback crew. I need to see where my moderators are because you are going to be needed. Lisa, I might have to give you a wrench because do you not have a wrench already? Because I know this topic is going to cause crazy, they're crazy people. Right. So this show is basically about why I don't really bother or root for Tyson Fury. People ask me all the time, what's my beef? What's my gripe with Fury? And I've got a few things that I'd just like to touch. And I've got like a lovely panel as well that can touch base. There's I got a couple of more people. I just remembered who else is coming. Let me just grab my phone. 1 second, let me mute because there's a voice note. Okay, someone was trying to come through and they couldn't get in. So let me just resend them the link. They want it to be sent via yeah. Okay, so one person can't make it. 1 second. I gotta send this. Guys, we do this on the fly. I need to give you a wrench, Lise. I need to give you a wrench. Where's my Nick Harmer? Where's yeah. Red or dead? Yeah. Cause he talk shite. Oh no. Where's Kenny? There he is. Done it out loud. I've just tweeted it to him out loud. Where did he go? Someone just disappeared off of the thingamajig. I don't know where he went now. Guys, this is about the whole Tyson Fury, why I don't bother with him. One's come on. Yes, I see you. Great stuff. So people ask me all the time why I don't bother with Tyson Fury. What's my gripe against Fury? Red or Dead was near enough right because he talks shite, but let's just go in. So I'm going to Rachel. Yes, I'm going to. Oh, he disappeared. Well, I'm going to be introducing the fight figure. No good idea. Fight fans. What's up? Can't hear you. You're muted.
Hey, bang, been a minute. You been good?
Been good, Lee. Triple F, FFF, Triple F, Fight Fan Figures. And we've got someone else that I intermittently do a show with, Big Up Pep Talk UK, on Mondays. Monday, we do the rawness and we break shit down. And we have got my Cockney mate in Rhyme and Crime, Kenny K!
How you doing? You know what I mean?
What's going on?
You know what's happened? I got into Link and I was on my own. I was thinking, let me send a message. And you know what? You know what it is. You know, if you send, you know, on Safari, I don't like a site. If you send it through like email or Twitter, easily get it. You know what I mean?
I know.
I hear all the slander about Tyson Fury, about, you know, how, and also I've got to pick you up on a certain thing as well. Did you watch Behind the Gloves?
No, I did. Oh, what? This old one?
No, he did a Behind the Gloves interview with Michelle Joy Phelps.
Oh, with Michelle Joy Phelps. I've seen pieces of the commentary. I haven't seen it in its entirety. And
you remember what he said about Deontay Wilder? Remember how after Deontay Wilder lost his world title fight, people stopped putting respect on his name. It's like people forgot about the 40 fights and 38 knockouts, and all of a sudden he's saying he hasn't got any fundamentals. Tyson Fury said to Michelle Joy Phelps that if Deontay Wilder, the only person right out of the heavyweights who's after him is Deontay Wilder. He says that Deontay Wilder will beat all the other heavyweights.
All of the others.
Got speed. He's got speed.
What a load of bullshit that is.
Why not? Why not? Why is it bullshit?
Because I'm sure he said, right, that Deontay Wilder basically was rubbish. And, you know, he could be it like he doesn't have the boxing, like you said, boxing fundamentals. And then all of a sudden, in one foul swoop, he said the only person that can beat him is him. So that means you're then saying that Deontay Wilder has got better fundamentals than everybody else.
All right. Can I ask yourself and Fight Fan Figures? Before Deontay Wilder, before Tyson Fury came along, right? A lot of fighters were like, if it was like how do I say a percentage between him and Joshua? A lot of fight fans had Deontay Wilder knocking out Joshua. Yeah. And so what has changed? So he loses. So basically, he draws with Tyson Fury. He loses a fight. Obviously, gets outmanned. Then all of a sudden, all those predictions and all those situations in terms of his knockout records, he becomes a bad boxer. I find that hard to follow sometimes, because they weren't talking about the fundamentals when he was knocking man out. When he knocked out Spielka, when he was beating all his men. In fact, no one wanted to fight him. All of a sudden, his skills become an issue.
Why do you think that is, though?
I think it's the same thing in boxing. When Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz Jr., the same sort of thing. Anthony Joshua fights like amateur. He fights like Frankenstein. His head's up. They find out everything was wrong with him. Yeah. And then he wins. Then all of a sudden he gives Ruiz a boxing lesson. And all of a sudden, AJ, blah blah. And I think what it is that if you look, the problem with boxing, right, and people seem to refuse to accept this. Right. No one's getting an O in this heavyweight era. And that even means Fury. No one's getting an O. Yeah. The level of heavyweights out there now, from about number 1 to number 10, is so high. It's so high to the extent that any one leg day can beat anyone. Dillian White on his day can go and body Joshua. On his day, he could body Fury. Fury's not going to get an O. Fury would lose because that's what happens in boxing. The level is just too high.
I believe that. So for him to say that Deontay Wilder, he's the only one that can beat Deontay Wilder, then that he's going against basically what you're saying. He's saying that Deontay Wilder thrashes everyone: Dillian White, Anthony Joshua, Povetkin. Who else would we say is in the top 10?
So you got Dillian White, you got Povetkin. Yeah. You got to say Joy Joyce now.
Joyce.
You got to say Usyk. You got to say Hunter.
Oh
Hunter. And
I believe he can beat the lower level top 10, some of them, but I don't believe he can beat the upper echelon. Not all.
Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that the upper echelons, 2018, 2019, put Deontay Wilder at a higher level because of the fact that they talked about his speed. They talked about the fact that even though people say he hasn't got the fundamentals, he still found a way to land one on Tyson Fury. Obviously, divine interceptions. And that's the thing about heavyweight boxing. There's George Foreman. God bless his soul. I love George Foreman, love him, great guy.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were saying the same thing about George Foreman after he lost to Ali. They started recognising, oh yeah, there's no fundamentals. He's just like boom, whoom, whoom, all power. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think maybe Deontay, who probably hits harder than Foreman, is getting a raw deal, in my opinion, from boxing graduates.
Yeah. Interesting. Stand by on that. We've got another guest that's coming in, and it's H Money from out of the US of A. Like, listen, everyone that's coming on, I tried to get people that was pure anti, or not anti, maybe neutral Fury. I'm the only one that's here. So introducing H Money. Ra, 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 ra. Salute. Salute, King.
Salute. How y'all doing? How's everybody?
Very good. How are you?
Good, all good, all good.
We good.
I'm good.
Kenny Ken meet H Money. H Money meet Kenny Ken.
H Money, how you doing, bro?
I'm good.
Meet H Money. H Money meet Fight Fan Figures.
Easy.
Salute. How y'all doing?
Yeah, man. I thought I would just get, amalgamation of us, because I know everybody here, because I have the pleasure to be on H Money's boxing channel, which is H Money Boxing. It's a great channel. Everybody needs to check it out. They have, like, Kenny, Leon. This is why I'm always tired, because I'm on his channel till like 5 a.m. doing
5 a.m. Hey,
yeah.
man, you got to go at times,
I know.
This is a very good time for boxing. Another thing as well, boxing needs to up its game, because a lot of people, a lot of casuals are now moving over to UFC. So we need, we need to fly the flag for the proper art, which is boxing.
Yeah, I'm not on to UFC. Everybody's onto this. So yeah, so I just wanted everybody to be introduced. So listen, it probably will trickle into Deontay Wilder, because at the minute he's either a bone of contention or he's the main news somehow, some way, but never for a fight. And even with Fury, his name seems to be tied to Fury and vice versa at the minute. Whether we like it or not, that's what it is. So we're going to talk about, because people always ask me, Ken, what's my beef with Tyson Fury? So I think we'll start from the light of things. So let me ask Fight Fans, let me ask H Money, let me ask Kenny Ken. Ken, I'll start with you, mate. What is your definition in boxing of a champion?
Well, my definition of boxing,
and I want everybody to come from a place of facts and truth. If it's an opinion, say it's an opinion. If it's a fact, you can state it as a fact, and as long as it can be fact checked. That's all. I just want everybody operating from honesty. That's all.
But my definition of a champion is basically someone, it's the resume and the ability to fight fighters with different styles. The ability to beat a southpaw, the ability to beat someone who bangs, the ability to beat someone, who's a boxer with speed, and just to fight all. They say, the thing we say in boxing, styles make fights. That's when I talk about a champion, someone who could beat the best. Bert Sugar. To be a great, you've got to beat a great, and I think that's my definition of a champion. And I think when people talk about Tyson Fury, people need to remember that he went to Germany. He beat Klitschko, who hasn't been beaten for nearly 11 years, and he's built up consecutive world championship fights where a lot of them have been by knockout. He's gone there where we all know that judges in Germany, and let's face it, the scoring there is horrendous, especially for the away fighter. He's gone there, and he's won the world heavyweight title unanimously against a fighter that's going to be a great. And then he spent 3 years at the ring, abusing his body. His mind was all wrong, mental health situations where he was close to suicide. He had suicidal thoughts fell out in love with boxing. Probably, I don't think he's in love with boxing now. And he's gone to away from home with only a couple of warm-up fights, and he's taken Deontay Wilder to the 12th round. Yes, he got clipped, but he got up. Deontay Wilder, you know, before he lost to Fury in the second time, Deontay Wilder had a record of about 40 fights, one draw, one on points, all the rest knockout. Doesn't matter who he has in these names. That is a knockout ratio. So we're talking a ratio of about 90% knockout ratio, and he's gone away. He's gone away from home with the odds against him, where he was still an underdog, and he went there and he went and took a slugger. Didn't fight him at long range or fight him with double jab and combinations. He went there, sat on his chest, and said, "Have it."
It's
me, that's a great opinion. That's a great champion.
You've gone into so you've gone a little bit into, you've kind of trickled out. I get it. I'm just looking for, and it doesn't have to be tied to, because sometimes when people ask questions and the people, you think that you're thinking ahead of the answer. You think what I'm going to say is this, so you're kind of answering. You're not answering the question. You're answering. All
right. The reason why he's a great champion, right? No. This is where we're getting it wrong. We're not asking why Tyson Fury is a great champion. What is the definition as a champion? We're not talking about to Tyson Fury. We're just saying, if we looked in the dictionary, what would be the definition of a champion? And I have to put it in the context of the champion. What's the definition of a champion in boxing? All right, a champion in boxing, right? The definition of champion in boxing is basically he wins title fights. He builds. Get to you now. Now I know you're getting me.
I know what she's doing.
I know you got me. You got me now. You got me there. You got me there, innit?
I said nothing.
No, but I know you're coming from there, because I've just described, because we talked about a champion and I talked about two fighters. You got me. So yeah, in terms of like what your definition of champion, the two fighters that Tyson beat, their definition of champion because of multitude of defenses. So a champion is someone who wins it and wins it again and wins it again and again and again and again. And wins it against different fighters. Okay, got it. You got me there. Well done. Well done.
All right, fight fan figures.
I think there's levels to it. I think technically you're a champion if you get a belt, but then you get these baby belts, interim belts, and stuff. So there's levels. Then they say you're not a champion until you've defended your belt. Alexander Usyk
so it doesn't matter what they say. What's your definition of a champion in boxing?
I like
just definition, not tying it to
the definition I choose to. No, the definition I choose for what makes what I'd say is a bona fide champion is somebody that's faced and defeated a mandatory. You know, somebody that they wouldn't have picked as an ideal opponent that suits their game. Someone that's going to give them trouble that they have to face and they overcome it. But we're talking levels, isn't it? Because before that, I would have thought if you've defended it, but then before that, I would have thought if you had a belt. You know, there's levels. You can unify, undisputed. There's just levels to it. But I'd be happy. I'd say somebody's a genuine champion once they've defended their belt.
Coolio. Okay. Good on you, fight fans. Cool. H money. H money. H money. H money. H money.
Yes, definitely. A true champion is someone that fights the best and beat the best. Now that's what Tyson Fury did. He fought the best.
Stop. I'm stopping you. Anytime you touch a name to this, I'm going to stop you, because I'm not saying why is Tyson Fury a champion or why is Deontay Wilder a champion. I'm saying What is your definition of a champion boxer?
Yeah, a champion is someone who fights the best and beats the best. That's what a champion is.
Okay. All right.
It is simple because I know what you're. I'm hearing. It sounds like we're kind of. It sounds like we're talking about Tyson Fury.
We are. We're going to go into it. That this is about, as you know, about Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
So I need it to be clear to get a base level gaugement of what everybody's comprehension of what a champion is in boxing, just to see.
Yes, fighting the best fighters in your weight class and beating them. That's a true champion.
Okie doke, got you. So now, you touched on belts. Okay, so true champion, the definition of a true champion in most sports, I would say most, I don't know every sport, but I would say most sports, even going back to Roman gladiator days, is that there's a prize, because it's a prize fighting sport. There's a prize, money, belt. You get that. You fight, like Leon says, it's a mix of mandatories that you can't pick, or other contenders that you can pick and say, I want to fight him in various sports. So you fight the best, like what H Money said. So everybody said bits of everything. So you fight the best, and then the winner obtains the prize, and that makes you then the winner, the champ, the winner. But in order to, you're the winner. All right, you're the winner. But in order to be a champion, what happens once you become the winner? You have protocol, which means somebody wants your belt, so you defend your title, yeah? And you just defend them, whether it's successfully or not, like you're making title defenses. That's what comes with having the belt. So if you do win these title defenses, you then become you're a champion. You're a champion defending your titles. So if we have to move on with Tyson Fury, he's never. What this show is about is why I don't root for him. This show isn't about, because I'm just coming from a place of facts. Yeah, everything that I'm going to say, unless stated otherwise, is going to be facts. So I'm not trying to make anybody dislike Tyson Fury, not root for Tyson Fury. Everybody's got their favorite boxers. So that's not the goal here. I just get asked this question and I'm breaking it down. So Tyson Fury, as we all know, guys, has never made a title defense. Who wants to talk about this?
Yeah, I want to respond to that because we all know Tyson Fury beat Vladimir Klitschko, and once he beat him, Tyson Fury dealt with mental illness. So that's the only reason why he didn't defend his title. Once he overcame that, he returned back to the sport and dominated the #1 heavyweight at the time, Deontay Wilder. So just because Tyson Fury had mental illness, he was dealing with some issues outside the ring that a lot of people deal with. I feel like Tyson Fury, he overcame the odds, and he will defend his title in his next fight. So he will defend that title.
Okay, so should I respond, or should I let everybody else? Because my response to that is quite quick, and then everyone else can respond. We don't care. I don't care that happened to you. On a sportsman's level, I don't care. You had mental illness. That doesn't negate the rules of boxing. So on that level, I don't care. We don't care about reasons, excuses. We're going to go with facts. Whatever it was, he didn't make a title defense. So what do you think, Kenny?
All right, I see where you're coming from, because you remember there was a rematch with Gladiator Klitschko. That was going to be in Manchester, and for obvious reasons, it didn't happen. I don't know whether Tyson Fury got an injury. I don't know whether it's Klitschko got an injury or not, but that didn't happen. And then what happened is that Tyson Fury, like I said, took time out of boxing because of his mental health issues and, other substance abuse issues. And I think I can see where you're coming from, because obviously I've always said it on the podcast we've done together that I don't think Tyson Fury is in love with the sport. I think he's in love with the fighting aspect of it, but the razzmatazz, the TV thing, it's not him. I still think he suffers greatly from mental illness, and I genuinely believe that his last fight, he's only got 2 fights in him, and I think his last fight will be the Joshua fight. Win or lose, I think he walks away. So in that respect, when you're talking about a great, great champion, I see what you mean. He hasn't. The public have been
robbed. We're going with just facts.
The facts.
I know everybody in the panel roots for Tyson Fury.
If we go by facts, then Tyson Fury is basically won the world title, and then he's dashed it away and said, "Right, you're next." Because in his interview with Michelle Phelps, the words he used, I've helped a lot of these fighters. They become champions because of me. So yes, your point is factual. He hasn't been what normal people consider to be a great champion, because he hasn't defended the title. He hasn't even defended it once, let alone numerous times. So yes, that is a point. If that's how you define a champion, then Tyson Fury owes the sport a lot more. But I'm just talking about a guy's mental health, and I think no, I don't think it's going to happen.
Well, I can honestly say this though, because now when you look at mental illness or people dealing with drug addiction, we just seen DMX pass away from drug addiction. Now Tyson Fury overcame that. He inspired millions of people. Now, when we talk about facts, Tyson Fury got the best wins in the heavyweight division. He beat Klitschko when he was a champion for 7 or 11 years, and on top of that, Tyson Fury dominated Klitschko. It was a one-sided fight. So I didn't want to see that. Really. Can I finish? Can I please finish? Because he dominated that fight. He won every round in there. And then he came back and beat Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury is ranked the number one heavyweight in the world for a reason by the Ring magazine. He's still.
I'm glad you didn't put champion. No, I'm glad you didn't say ranked number 1 heavyweight champion, because you can't.
He is the number 1 heavyweight in the world.
He's not the number 1 heavyweight champion.
He is.
He's number 1 heavyweight. He
is the number 1 champion.
He's only got 1 belt. He only has 1 belt. So he's not.
Well, he got the Ring magazine. He got the.
He's never defended the belt. Ring magazine doesn't come with mandatories, and neither does the lineal belt.
He has the WBC. He has the WBC. He's undefeated as well.
The WBC now. Okay. He's never had it before.
He's undefeated though, Lady Chan.
When he had the other belt.
He's never took a loss. He's never lost a fight.
So technically, what we've just defined, we're going to go to Fight Fan Figures, Triple F over there. He hasn't defended the belt. So therefore, that's a cross.
Once he defends his belt, would you give him his credit that he deserves? Once he defends his belt?
Defends the belt, of course, because we're going from we're operating from facts. So right now, we're still operating from facts, and we're not operating from emotion, H Money. So whether you like him or not, he hasn't defended a title ever. We don't care what reason why. We don't care if the sun was up and it was burning his eyes and he couldn't be bothered to get in.
But that's your only knock against him.
He walked 40 days and 40 miles across the deserts. We don't care.
That's the only thing you got against him. That's the only thing you got against Tyson Fury, is that he never defended his title.
Once you agree, no, it's not the only thing.
That's the
we're going to go through this. We've just started, H. So once you agree to play, like we say, you can't play boxing, mate. So once you agree to participate in something, there's rules to it. So if I today say, there's rules to be able to come on StreamYard. StreamYard doesn't care, or YouTube, or there's rules that we have to abide by to be on YouTube. Guess what? If I've had a shit day, like with my kid or something like that, YouTube doesn't care. I don't then come on YouTube and negate all the rules of what YouTube and get all the copyright strikes because I've had a shit day. If I want to engage in YouTube, I have to engage with the rules that are applied to YouTube. So if I want to engage in boxing, yes, I've had a shitty day. Yes, I might have been in the hospital for 3 weeks beforehand, struggling with some kind of infection. But guess what? once I come into boxing, that means the rules that are there are not negated because of what I had in my day or days. I'm doing boxing, so the rules apply. Okay, so yeah, Leon, it's you now.
That is one of my. I don't know if it's double-edged sword whether I'm most impressed with what Tyson Fury does or what annoys me most about what Tyson Fury does. Yeah. Because he seems to have navigated himself in a position where he doesn't have to abide by the rules of what a champion has to do. He can win the belts from Fury. He can effectively step out of semi-retire, scatter the belts, and then claim credit for Joshua collecting them one by one and being built into a huge star. You can't not face your responsibilities as a champion because you're not able to for whatever reason, and then claim the credit for the work somebody else has done from the slack that you've left there. But he just seems to have been able to masterfully position himself in a sense where very few people question it. Like, people just accept that, you know, his resume isn't as deep as it should be for the fights he's had. Yes, even though he's had the time out, he could have fought a better level of opposition since he came back.
We're going to move on to that. We will talk about that.
Brother, he fought the number one heavyweight Deontay Wilder and shocked the world and beat him. Wilder was number one after Anthony Joshua got beat by Andy Ruiz. Now, he did fight the top guy, and he beat both of the top guys at the time, Klitschko and Wilder. They were number one.
Maximum respect for that, because as Kenny was saying, similar thing also happened to Joshua. Once Joshua lost, people started to question whether he can take shots to the temple, started to question his heart. It's the way that Fury beat Wilder in the second bout that it was such a battering that now all of a sudden everybody thinks that everybody could do the same thing to Wilder. I disagree. I don't think everybody can do the same thing to Wilder. I don't agree with what Tyson Fury said, that Tyson Fury is the only person that can beat Wilder. That's the I'm in Tyson Fury land comment. That's the kind of thing he pushes out and people just go along with. But Deontay Wilder was a quality opponent for him to beat, because nobody has seen that done. Nobody had figured out how to get past his right hand.
I wanted to.